Over 90% of people now say they're unhappy with dating apps. And more, we are just realizing that they are not the tool that we thought they were for helping us find a relationship. But the issue is, a lot of those traditional avenues that we used to have to meet people, they're not really there anymore. If you think like meeting someone at work is now a minefield, we have shrinking social circles, and we just don't really go to as many events as we used to. So in 2024, what are you meant to do to try and meet somebody? Well, I find out what I think are the 3 steps that I've used myself multiple times to meet girls that I have great relationships with, and that I've walked my clients through as well, so they can have the relationships they want without being reliant on dating apps, which fundamentally aren't interested in finding you a relationship. So to kick them off, the first one is build the lifestyle that you want. And I cannot stress how important this step is, because it helps you on about 8 different dimensions when it comes to relationships. Because one of the things with men, it's almost indistinguishable between a man's attractiveness and the life that he lives. You can't really separate those two things out. It is a huge part of who he is how he lives his life. And if all you do is things that you're not happy with, if you just watch Netflix every single day, you have friends that you don't really enjoy spending that much time with, you don't really pursue anything that is of interest to you, you will always fall down. Because I'm going to touch on all the different points that this connects to. But simply put, if you're living a life that you don't like, why would any girl join you? When you get into a relationship with someone, you step into each other's lives, and too many guys get caught up in this life that they hate, thinking some girl is going to come along and fix it for them, when all they see is just this shit show on fire of what your life is, and just be like, no, I don't really want to step into the fact that you don't really have a great relationship with your family, you don't really like what you do for work, and you don't really have any hobbies. So it's inescapable for a guy to be able to meet people and have relationships till he's started to structure the life that he wants to live for himself. Because what it also does is give you infinite conversation. I know for me, it's like the times when I've gotten into relationships with girls, it's when I've just seriously put in effort and started to construct the life that I wanted to have. So for me, I'm weirdly obsessed with running. Like, I don't know why, it's just the sport, the hobby that appeals to me the most. I think I have some kind of weird body proportions in which I'm like all leg. So running for me comes easy and I enjoy it a lot. But I can still get lazy, and I'll just go through these periods in my life when I'm not really doing it. And it takes my spark away, that I'm not myself when I'm not pushing myself a bit, going to competitions, going to races. And when I'm in those times, when I have got my friends where we're going to running clubs together and it starts to bring a better side out of me, that's when all the girls start turning up in my life. And when we talk, I have something to talk about, something that I'm passionate about. The fact that there is this mother effer at parkrun that keeps beating me, and I'm going to beat him next week because I refuse to lose 3 weeks in a row to this guy. And that's just my thing. And it calls something out of me. It calls that slight extra bit of passion. And that's what girls find attractive. But look at your life. What do you have in it currently that really speaks to you? What is it that is a representation of your current identity? Because without that, you're nothing but a husk, and it's a non-starter getting the relationship going. So the step 1 has to be what I call lifestyle design. Because what this also does is give you confidence, because you're living the life you want, you're high agency, you have a lot going on, which also reduces your neediness. Because the thing is, say you do manage to get the girl. Say you manage to bring her into your life even though you're not particularly happy with it, you don't really enjoy it. Well, what's going to happen then? She's going to become the prized possession of your life. You're going to put her on a pedestal because she's the best thing about it. She is the thing that took you out of the darkness and made you feel like life was worth living. Do you think you're going to come across as an attractive guy in that situation? Or are you going to be really needy? Are you going to be jealous? Are you going to be fearful that any opportunity she might leave and you've got to go back to your old miserable life, the one you didn't want to live? It leaves you flawed and weak and not able to present yourself properly in a relationship. If you can't live a life where you'd be happy without her, you will never be able to keep her. It sucks, but it's true. That unless you can find a way to design a life that, you know what, I could live this life forever, even if for some reason I could never find a girl, I'd still be happy with this. Paradoxically, that's when you start to have people turn up into your life. And it isn't something that can just get overlooked. And I know it feels like effort to be thinking like, oh, well, I've got to go to clubs and hobbies. I've got to sort all my friendships out. I've got to like try and enjoy my job and things like that. But all this is leading to finding your perfect partner. And the thing is, your partner is the most important decision you ever make in your entire life. It is weighted 4 times higher for life satisfaction than the job career path that you pick. Your partner is 4 times more important than that. So it is worth putting in the effort and pushing yourself to figure out what is it that you want. And you don't need to be perfect, but at least be working towards it. Maybe you really like painting. Like, maybe you wanted to do surfboarding. Maybe you really just like video games and you designate time to actually invest in that and spend time with friends on it and be deliberate. It isn't some sort of sedation by video games. It's purposeful. Whatever it is for you, construct that life, because then you start to open up what is step 2. And that is building connection. That when you start to build the life that you want to live, you start to come in contact with people that reflect the best side of you. That if you are, for my example, going to a running club, well, then I meet other runner girls that are already filtered for something where we have something in common, we have that common interest, and we're better suited. So we already are setting off on a better foot than if she's found me whilst I'm in the bottom of my pits of despair eating digestive biscuits in bed. Like, if you can't sort your own life out first, you'll always have inferior connections. But this step 2 of learning to build connection is utterly essential. That becoming a person and what I call an agent of connection will separate you out from every other person out there, because it's the thing that people are looking for in the world right now. That girls can get attention from anywhere. They can get validation from their phones. They can get amazing dates with freaking their friends because they have the money now. There's nothing that you can offer them in terms of, oh, I have money so I can take them to the restaurant. They can do that themselves. The one thing that they can't offer to themselves is that real sense of connection, to be seen, to have someone go over and say hi. So starting to develop your ability to do that and being brave enough to walk over is a huge deal. And everyone has their own unique way of doing this. Maybe you are someone that is more sophisticated in doing this within a social realm. Well, if you set up your life so you've got a bunch of friends, then you'll be able to meet people just naturally through your social group and extensions of that, and you can operate there. Or you can go meet people at clubs. My favourite, though, is simply learning how to approach a girl on the street. That I've done this so many times through my life. I think I've done, it's probably over 1,000 approaches. And I love that because it's allowed me to get super comfortable being uncomfortable by walking over and saying hi to someone that I've never met. And you know what? I would say all of my best relationships I've had in my life have come from someone that I had no idea who they were before I walked over. It wasn't through a club, it wasn't through a friend. It was through walking over and simply saying hi. And yeah, sometimes there's a bit of fallout from that you don't always get someone that's warm and receptive. Maybe they have a boyfriend and they're just like, not interested. But until you go over and start making these connections, all you'll be is lonely. And too many people fall down because they think this is too difficult. But it isn't. I was super introverted, I was super shy, I was super awkward, super anxious, all of the above. And all I did was slowly start pushing myself into this realm. And it's probably one of the greatest things I ever did, because it's meant that now I know that I'm never truly alone. That if I ever wanted to, I've done this a few times, I'm in a new city and I want to meet people, maybe I want to meet a girl, I can just walk out onto the street and start approaching and saying hi. And it all comes from just starting out being that person that when he's at the cashier, saying 2 extra words, giving them a compliment. This is what I do with clients that I build up and build up. We start off small, we build up the confidence doing it by offering compliments out to a person here, a person there, then stepping it up and maybe having a small interaction and a conversation. It's like any skill, and it builds and builds and builds. But the moment you start building connection, that's when you don't need dating apps anymore, because if you meet someone in person, the likelihood that they're going to flake on you plummets. Every time you get a date through a dating app, I'm sure you've experienced this, because I definitely did. What are the odds of the date going through? I'd estimate 25% of people where you've got a number, you've said that you'll meet up, about 25% of them probably come through. But when you meet people in person, you have a chance to see who they really are. They don't flake, and then you actually have the opportunity to build a real relationship. Finally, step 3. And this one is part step, part mindset. And that is, it's fuck yes or it's no. I actually stole this from Mark Manson in the book Models, and it is such a beautiful philosophy. One of the reasons people lose out when maybe they have quite a good life and maybe they're connecting with quite a few girls is they go chasing after the wrong one. They chase after the girl that's shown maybe a little bit of interest, maybe he got a number, but then every time he tries to arrange a date, it doesn't quite happen, and she doesn't put in that extra effort to rearrange, and he chases after her. Or even it's just the guy that is in a friend zone with a girl. Well, all of these things are where men lose years of their lives pursuing someone that doesn't want them back. So this philosophy of, if I'm going for a girl, it's fuck yes or it's no. If it's her and an ahhing, delaying to next week, then it's a no, and that's fine. Because I've found that if you go in looking for girls where it's just like, do you want to go out on Tuesday? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Everything goes smoother. They're the girls that are emotionally available to actually have a relationship with you and maybe become your girlfriend. The ones that are putting up barriers and difficulty for you at the beginning, that sets the tone for the entire relationship. Men have it in their heads that it needs to be this, like, the knight who conquers the dragon and gets past all these, like, barriers she's putting up. But all it does is make you come across as needy. Fair enough, like, a girl doesn't need to be easy or whatever, but having that ability to just have the connection be built and not have to feel like you're playing games, which is just the worst thing ever. Girls that play games aren't really interested in you. So the best relationships I've had, from the off, it was always just, hey, you're awesome, I'd love to go out with you, say Tuesday, they're down for that, they turn up Tuesday, they turn up on time, and every single interaction after that, it's always just like, you want to meet up again? Fuck yeah, let's do it. And we're moving somewhere together. And this is such an essential mindset, and it actually makes you more attractive, because then when a girl starts being indecisive about you, well, you polarize her, because I've sent this message a couple of times of just, if she's being difficult, it's like, hey, I would really love to meet up with you on Tuesday, but if you're not interested, that is completely okay, and I hope you have a great time. And all that does is force her into making the decision of like, oh shit, this guy's serious, he either wants me to be in or out, and she'll pick one of the two. The worst thing you can do is spend ages and ages of your life pursuing these girls that are only really half interested in you. They're never really fully committing to who you are. They just lead you on. And I'm not blaming them for leading you on. You're just as culpable in this situation by not standing up for yourself and not pursuing someone who is genuinely interested in you. So, if you're in 2024 and you're not wanting to use a dating app, these are the 3 steps to take. And I know these do work because I've done it myself. I've done it with clients. These are the 3 steps that if you can build a life that you're actually happy to live, then you immediately become more attractive, more confident, less needy. And then you start to just build connections, start going to hobbies, like start going to clubs and actually going over and saying hi. Doing that 5-second movement that where you go across and you start to say hi. Build those connections. And then once you have them, use that mentality that it's fuck yes or it's no. Because there are girls out there that are truly going to be interested in you. This doesn't mean that, oh, because I'm not willing to put in the extra effort, I miss out on this top tier of girl. It's not what I've seen. The girls that have been more difficult were not sort of objectively the most beautiful or the most interesting. Like, I will have gone from maybe having something not work with a girl like that to then 2 days later, I meet a girl who I think I vibe with so much better, is actually more beautiful, and she's just chill and ready to go. Resistance isn't a perfect match for interest and like quality. That's a good way of phrasing it. Resistance isn't an indicator of quality. It's them that's unsure. It's not a reflection on you just because they're unsure. If you can present yourself properly and show them who you are, and then they're still unsure, that's not on you, man. That's just who they are. Maybe they're uncertain in their relationship life. So finding girls that are a fuck yes and not just, I don't know, maybe next week, because they waste your time and you deserve better. So if this is called out to you, I would also recommend, I found a system for being able to get dates in 2 minutes without using dating apps. And in one of my favorite videos, how I break down a story of how I actually did that, check out this video up here and you'll be able to see how it is possible still in 2024 to get a date in only 2 minutes.